All right, what is up YouTube? So today I'm going to be showcasing the best free to play deck, and I believe that is Phantom Knights. This is the easiest deck to get, it's the easiest deck to build, and it's one of the strongest decks in the format, especially in the future when we do get the Brave token engine and all that other stuff like the DPE engine as well. This deck is just very strong. It's very powerful, and it's easy to get. As I said before, there's so many different ways to just get easy access to the PK cards and just like the staple cards in general, because you don't really need that many staple cards. You're not playing like a ton of different hand traps. You're not playing these going second cards. You're just playing stuff like, you know, Twin Twister, Cosmic, Droplets for like the early thing, you know, the early game. And then when you get to the high rated, you get to stuff like, you know, Ash, Cross Out, Call By, and just other stuff to like mitigate the maxi stuff. So we're going to be talking about the deck, and then I'll kind of give you some more suggestions on like other decks that you can play that's just not PK, and they're probably easier to play because this deck does have a kind of high ceiling for the deck and a high skill cap, because this deck is not really easy. But once you learn the combos, because there's like a lot of different combos you can do with this deck, you don't have to just play like this kind of version. There's other versions. There's the rank up version, there's the DPE version when we do get to that, but this is just a standard list you can go with and just clap people on the early ladder and just work on this deck, because you want to focus on one deck and not just try to go to every deck and, you know, do all that type of stuff. You just want to focus on this deck, get some staples, clap fools on the ladder, get some gems, and then, you know, craft stuff with the gems and stuff like that. So let's get on to the deck profile, and then you know, I'll talk about a little bit more about like the other stuff. So you have one graph, one seer. This is pretty standard. Seer graph is really good with Cherubini, so that is pretty standard. You have the 3 cloak, the 3 boots, and the 2 ragged gloves. This is all you need. Oh yeah, for the other PKs, you do have the 3 torn scales in the stained greaves. So that is all you really need for the PKs. I'm not playing tour guide. You can definitely get tour guide, but I don't think it's necessary to play the PKs. All you need is the standard like 3 torn scales, the 3 of the cloak, the boots, you know, all that other stuff. Like, you don't really want to necessarily get these other archetype cards unless you're planning on playing tour guide in multiple decks. Like if you're planning on playing something like Burning Abyss, you should probably get tour guide. But if you're generally just building Phantom Knights and just not playing, you know, Burning Abyss that plays tour guide, then you probably shouldn't go for that, at least in the early game. For the rest of the engine, well, the rank 3 package, we have the 2 Jackalope and the 3 Tsuchinoko. This is just a way to get a level 3 monster on the board to make rank 3 XYZs. And then for the E-Tele package, we have the 1 Psychic Wielder, the 1 Psychic Tracker, and then we have the 2 Emergency Teleport. This is just really good just to get level 3s on the board, get to those rank 3s, get to the Cherubini, and just, you know, combo off. For the next cards, these are more of your staple cards, besides like the you know, the staple cards like Reinforcement of the Army that comes with playing PKs, and the trap cards, which is Wings, Shade Brigadier, and then the 3 Fogblade. I think 3 Fogblade or 2 Fogblade is going to be standard. The 1 Shade Brigadier is going to be standard, and then the Wings is going to be, it's not really mandatory. You could play also the Sword. The Sword and the Wings is not really mandatory, but I do like it in the deck, at least the early build of this deck, just to beat people on the ladder. I think it's just pretty fine for this. But for the staples, we have the 2 Forbidden Chalice, the 3 Forbidden Droplets. This is really good to negate effects on the field. So stuff like VFD, if they have like multiple VFD, you can hit it with Droplets, or if they have 1 VFD, you can hit it with Chalice. But for the most part, if you're going second, you can hit anything on the board. Anything that has like disruption, like Apollousa, like Utopic Future in the mirror match or something like that. or Zeus or something like that, you could just negate the effect. Any effect, you would just negate it. And with droplets, you can get rid of your PKs and just, you know, trigger them in the graveyard. So that's pretty good. And then for the other staple cards, we played the 3 Twin Twister and the 3 Cosmic Cyclone. This is really good because a lot of people in the early ladder, they kind of just play a lot of these control decks. And if you don't play outs to these floodgates and stuff like that, or like trap cards, then you're gonna have a really tough time playing around them. So I just wanted to mitigate that by just playing stuff like Twin Twisters and Cosmic Cyclone. It's also really good for stuff like Scythe or like the artifact cards, so that's pretty good. And just like other different stuff like Boot Sector Launch and Dragon Link, or other continuous spells like Tinky and stuff like that. So it's just really, really good overall, and I really like this for like the early ladder. And then for the extra deck, you have the Utopic Future package. This is the type of build I'm focusing on because we do not have the Phoenix Enforcer in Master Duel yet. But yeah, Future Dragon is just so good. It's like the best monster in this deck besides, like, you know, the starter cards. Then we have Leviair. This is just ways to get more monsters on the board, so you can make, like, you know, the Draco Future. The Break Sword is just really good for just many different reasons, just to pop stuff and they get more monsters on the field. You know, that's pretty good. And then Downward Magician, definitely really good with the Zeus. Zeus is a pretty strong card. It's the reason why it's at 1. Link Spider, really good to link off your Shea Brigadine, your Cherubini, one of the best cards in the deck. And then your Link 4s, you have Access Code and Apollousa. Apollousa really good to stop stuff like Nibiru and other hand traps. Also really good against your opponent's board if they're trying to like play. Access Code, as I said before, like this card is just insane going second, just the OTK. Rusty Barty's best card in the deck. Nightmare Unicorn, really good going first or going second, along with the IP Masquerena. So this is just what I've been working on. Really solid deck. I don't want to hold you up guys too long because you're probably looking through like a lot of different Master Duel content, but I did want to showcase you guys the best Master Duel free-to-play deck. If you want to like not play this deck because you think it's too complicated or you just don't want to play this deck, I think another option is Tri Brigade. Tri Brigade is really good and it's really cheap. Virtual World is very good and really cheap. There's other different decks like Eldritch, Alter Guys, like all these other different decks, Sky Strikers, that you can probably build like pretty quickly and have like staple cards to dismantle for. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you want to see in the comment section below, and if you have any questions, just ask them in the comments. I am down to answer any questions you guys have. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I am out. Peace.